am Drew. I am Danny. And we are not the same person. We may have similar lives, we may have similar wives, but we are different nonetheless.
Hello everybody, Terronicle545 here with a kind of video that I haven't done on the channel in quite some time. We're going to be bringing back Moc Reviews, naturally starting with the one and only mascot of my channel, Terronicle, aka Terron. Terron's appeared as the main character of my Bionicle short films since the very beginning of my channel, where back then his legs looked like this. He's a type of sorcerer known as a caster, working with a team of fellow heroes under the Cordia government to protect his home of Island Nui from anyone who threatens its civilians. Additionally, out of said heroes, he has a particularly strong connection with the robot Spark, who he views as his sidekick.
10 minutes?
Higher.
11 minutes?
The Moc itself is my 6th version of Terron and is actually virtually identical to a how-to video I made on him a few years back, so I'll link that down below in case anyone wants a more in-depth look at his build. For an overview of said build, however, starting at the bottom, I used these blue and Nika foot pieces that came out in Terrix from 2009. I like them because of how wide they are, making it really easy to just scoop the Moc up and plop him down wherever whilst maintaining stability.
Nice.
Moving up, we have this triple CCBS shell design, which I'm really fond of because of the knee pad look it gives. The larger blue shell does slightly hinder his front foot mobility, which can get a little annoying when you're posing him, but ultimately I think it's a fine enough trade-off for the look of it. His upper legs are just 3 basic CCBS pieces, so moving up further and taking a look at his crotch.
Wait.
We have a small assortment of system pieces that provide some shaping and texture akin to the rest of the CCBS shells on him, which I definitely think creates some nice cohesion. The remainder of the torso is pretty much just built around sustaining the shaping of this 3rd Terrix foot and these 2 blue beast spike pieces from a Spider-Man set. I really like the shaping these 3 pieces create with one another, and I think it bulks up the torso perfectly. Additionally, the Terrix foot is one of the 4 pieces on this Moc that were cut or glued? Minus like flex tubing. Look, you don't need to cut the heel off the foot piece, it still fits if you don't. It just undoubtedly hinders the neck articulation, and moving the whole piece down just messes with the rest of the shaping. So I opted to just snip it off and call it a day. Here's all the heels I've cut off more of these foot pieces that I've given to my friends for their own Terrons. Poor Terrix, bro. Oh no, don't mind me. I'm just gonna be slicing your heels off, Jesus Christ. Still waiting for you to build Terron, Jammy! Anyway, while I was at it, I glued this black tile to the top of the foot to better match the rest of his chest details. Said details consist of this gear and Ninjago shuriken that border his heartlight. The gear is one of the 6 painted pieces on this Moc because I'm already going to federal Lego prison for foot mutilation, so screw it, let's defile some more pieces. This has been a consistent design element of every Terron version, and I really like how it looks, especially with that color matched gear. Then bordering his chest, we have these 2 black Borak eyes, which is another consistent design element from previous Terron versions. However, in this case, I do actually think this will be one of the first things to get updated with version 7, because I think they'd look better in silver or even trans purple. There's some small CCBS shells to fill out his shoulders, then between that we have his neck attachment, where I actually utilize this cut light gray Technic piece. Just like the chest, you're still able to attach the neck legally if you use this L-shaped Technic piece. I just think it makes the chest stick out a bit too far and it pushes the head too close to the shoulders. Problems that are easily negated with the cut neck. Weird ass sentence, okay. Turning the Moc around, we can see 3 more of those painted pieces. The first of which being this Borak shield, which could definitely just be flat silver, but I do like the extra detail this painted one brings. And you can actually see here that I left this back bit exposed to allow some light to travel through the chest. Then moving above that, we have what's probably both the most iconic and my least favorite part of the whole build, his wings. They've been on every single version of Terron in one form or another because Ben Kasi has them, because I really like the silhouette that they give the Moc. However, the way I attached them on this version definitely leaves something to be desired. This design is just way too loose, fragile, and it leads to the wings sticking out further than the back, which can make storage difficult. Not to mention the gross way these Technic pieces dig into the paint on the Borak shield. This whole back section is definitely another thing that's getting updated first thing in the next version. His upper and lower arms are incredibly simple, just using some basic CCBS pieces. However, there are some painted details on each of his shoulders. His right arm sporting the caster symbol, which is obviously also the one for my channel, and his left arm featuring the number 003, which means something. Ooh. Then his hands use a very common hand design in the community. I've heard some people coin it the Sardix hand, but I'm sure he's not the first person to use it. An incredibly similar design even popped up in that recent Cole mech, which is pretty cool. They're a little big, but it was still incredibly important to me that he has posable fingers. Our hands and faces are what we use to emote the most, and given that typically the most emoting you see out of a Bionicle mask is this, giving him hands with plenty of articulation seemed like a necessity for the main character of my films. The hands also contain the final 2 cut pieces on the Moc, these 2 Technic axle to stud connectors, which are literally just there to give Terron the ability to hold things. Then, finally, we have his head. Obviously, he uses the Surge Brain Attack helmet because it's the best Bionicle or Hero Factory head there is. Fight me in the comments. Initially, I was kind of annoyed by the fact that it was a Brain Attack helmet because if you don't know, they're actually not able to fit onto Glatorian heads, which obviously have way more color options. One more color option. However, over time, I've actually grown to sort of like the green and how it pops against the rest of the color scheme. If I could go with any other color from LEGO's catalog to replace it with, I do think I'd actually go with trans pink. But of course, LEGO never really offered any trans pink construction pieces. But Ziantro does! Ayo! Check out his store! I'm not affiliated with him in any way, he just sells some really cool shit and I want him to keep doing that. Anyway, last but not least, we have what I'd say is Terron's most iconic design element besides the wings, his bandana. It's both been on every single modern version of Terron, and it was actually on my channel profile pic for a little while. It's nothing too complicated, just a little strip cut from a full real bandana, but I just love how much personality it adds, and it's overall probably my favorite part of the entire mock. And with that, we'll cap things off. Overall, I'm really happy with this version of Terron, and I definitely think it's his best design yet. However, as you saw, I still think there's at least a little bit more room for improvement with things like those wings that I'd like to mess around with in version 7. So I can't wait to take a full look at that one, once it exists. I'm planning on doing more of these mock reviews throughout the year, so please let me know what you thought of this one down in the comments below. I always appreciate your guys' feedback. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more Bionicle and LEGO content. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and thanks for watching. I've got some, business to take care of.